This is Massive, the world's largest cruiserweight, and you're watching and listening to Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm out.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
Hello.
And we got Mike.
What's up, guys? Big Mike here, and we are heading down the train tracks here in 2023. Aliens are real, so that happened today apparently. So cool. I can't even rhyme that. Just like aliens apparently exist.
Apparently, yeah.
So government's like, yeah, we found some with biological entities, and it's like, oh, cool.
I mean, I would.
And the
think
weirdest
it's out
thing
there.
is, no one is even freaked out about it. Honestly, that's where we're at in this world.
No, because after 2020, that was like the next thing on everyone's bingo card. They're like 3 years late with that revelation. I mean, at this point, I thought that the announcement was going to be, and there's an invasion coming. Which case, I'd have been like, that tracks.
Well, no, Nick. I mean, spoiler alerts, but Nick Fury had something to say about that alien invasion. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Look, I'm just going to say this about all the alien talk. If you live in
What's up,
Florida, they're going to say that's woke, and you won't be able to learn that in schools in Florida, among many other things.
Don't even get me started.
So-
Actually, I think they already kicked the aliens out of Florida.
Yeah, well, that's
so-
true.
Of all
Another
kinds.
level.
Of
Yeah,
all kinds.
Ron DeSantis, right? So
Even if from
good
this
job
side.
out there, Florida. Yeah, so
Good job, Florida.
yeah,
Legacy Tom.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, hey,
Good
let's
stuff.
link for it.
Thank you everybody for joining us on this week's episode. Today we're gonna talk all about NXT Great American Bash. It's crazy to see NXT get their own standalone pay-per-view, on a weekend. Nothing else really going on. I want to say Hybrid had a show this past weekend, so Mike and Tommy, you guys are going to talk about that a bit. Or
Yes, sir.
or
Yeah.
Phil Tennant, so yeah.
Yeah.
Any wrestling news to report though? Nothing really seems
I
to
don't think
stand
there's
out.
I don't think there's any major news. There's always like storylines going on and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything big.
Yeah.
That's really come out in the last week. I posted and I forgot about we did it Friday last week, so we actually pretty much went over Death Before Dishonor
Yeah.
during the show. I forgot about that
Mhm.
because I was like, oh, we'll review that. I was like, oh, we kind of already did.
Yeah.
But,
One of those things where we had to move the show back a day, and it just they did it on
Yeah.
Friday, so it's one of those things. But yeah, I will say this: seeing the clips of AEW doing a little post show tribute to Philadelphia, the ECW talent. I don't know if you guys have seen that with Jericho and Taz and everyone. I just enjoyed the fact that CM Punk got out there. Is like, why'd you guys leave me out? I was an ECW champion too.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And
Wait, was
so-
that from this past week? I thought that was an old clip.
I thought it was this past week. I thought because was it
Oh,
an
there
old one?
was
I don't know.
Oh, if there's a new.
Yeah. We'll have to double check that, but you could be right.
Yeah,
But-
it seemed recent. I if it was old, I'm lost. I'd never seen it before, but I was dying laughing because I thought it was so
You
hilarious.
may be right.
Yeah. Anyway, Bernsey, what's up?
What's up,
Sean's
Bernsey,
asking
Sean?
Tommy a question here. A little Q&A. What'd you think of my video?
I have no idea what video he's referring to. I legitimately don't. Sorry.
Whatever he's telling you in your DMs, bro. Let's keep that clean, okay? We don't want to get banned on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah,
Just don't share it here.
Sean, sorry. I can't remember which video you're talking about. This has been a very long week, and it's only Wednesday. So
Yeah.
Oh, another thing, not really news, but I just found it kind of funny because apparently last week Peacock brought out a special, The Making of the American Nightmare or something. Basically
Yeah.
a Cody Rhodes, mini doc. And he was doing a bunch of interviews for that. And apparently in one of them, it may have been with Denise Salcedo. I'm not 100% sure if it was hers. But he basically said at the end of his AEW run, his storylines were too meta. And I finally went, no duh. Dude. We knew, we all said it, you denied it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for at least admitting it finally. Because, we all knew. That's why you were getting booed out of arenas, and that's why I still don't understand how we went from that to like the hero of WWE. But wrestling. So
it is what it is, right? So
That I mean, that's just because everyone wants to see like, look, AEW is failing because Cody's here, and then it didn't fail immediately. It's still going, and everyone's still cheering for
it
Cody. And they're
definitely hit a
like,
rough patch. Yeah, I mean, it hit a rough patch last year, but it's on way on its way to. I will say on the shoulders of Moxley and a few
but
others.
To be fair, WWE was in a rough patch from about 2020 to maybe about this year. So
And you say that, and I think you posted or something, or maybe you said this last week that like WWE is doing some of its most entertaining stuff now.
Yeah.
To be honest, I am so jaded by knowing Vince McMahon is involved. I still don't watch it as consistently. Like I'm not watching every Raw and SmackDown all the way through, and I know there's good stories going on, but just knowing that he's back there, like, well, maybe not in the back, but still, it's like, I got like PTSD with him in charge. Like it's just too many years of like, oh, this was crap, and it was all Vince's idea. Weird.
Yeah. Well,
real quick wrestling news. I didn't notice this until now. AR Fox joined the Mogul Embassy.
Oh, that happened tonight. Yeah.
Happened tonight, and he's getting a shot at Orange Cassidy now.
No, he had a match with Orange Cassidy tonight.
Yeah.
Orange beat him. After the match, Orange was being, respectful and shook his hand, put the glasses on him. And then when Orange turned around, AR broke the glasses, punched him, and then looked like he regretted it. Darby Allin came out while AR Fox was walking back and got in his face. And AR Fox was like acting conflicted. But then later in the night, it was Darby versus Swerve Strickland. And AR Fox came out and attacked Darby like he was hooded. And he attacked him and then kind of went out of the camera's view, threw Darby back in so Swerve can pin him. And then Nick Wayne was out there with Darby. And when Nick Wayne tried to come in and help, like AR Fox jumped back in. And, he beat him down and joined the embassy tonight. So
nice.
A little bit of a heel run. I mean, it should be interesting for him. So
he's always struck me as a guy who should be a heel, though, even when he was on the Independents. I don't know what it was, but I just felt like he would have that persona. That'd be good for him.
I think it's that weird mix because he kind of is good at that, but also his offense is, kind of so babyface. Yeah. Like Sammy Guevara is like one of the few who could have that offense, but his face is so punchable that like
I was about to say punchable. Like you just look at the guy and you know he's a prick. So, yeah,
pretty much.
All right, hybrid experience, guys. How was the show this weekend? And what do they got going forwards here? Yeah.
So it was a great show. I am not gonna lie, it was really hot, and I literally it was so hot, and I was so focused on trying to stay cool. There were things I just didn't do that I normally do at shows or whatever. I don't know how to explain this, but I left the show. I was like, I didn't do this. I didn't take a picture with this person. I was like, it was just so hot. Even by the end of the night, I was just like, I want to stay and talk to people, but I also want to go outside and try and breathe. So but it was a really good show. The Flock and Brawlers with David Kidd as New Kids on the Flock was great. That was a great show. The Texas Treats, as always, I mean, they're fun. Diego's a really good. He's a really good worker. He wrestles his ass off. Yeah. As the treat in training. Mm-hmm. What else do we have? We had Gia Michelle versus Akai Living. We had Devin Carter with his new Rising Champions title. Mm-hmm. And he defended against the guy from Laredo, right?
Yeah, George Wolf.
There you go, Wolf.
Yeah.
The Lone Wolf.
Name's familiar.
The Lone Wolf, George Wolf.
Another Lone Wolf?
Yeah.
How many of these Lone Wolves are there? There should be a wolf pack.
There's a lot. You would think they would come together and unite.
Yeah, so...
I said you should join a wolf pack. Just don't turn your back on them because you might end up in a body bag.
Yeah.
I think Mike and one other person near us got that joke, but but there was one moment. Eric Walker, he wrestled Troy Markham.
Oh yes.
And then they really did have like a legit like injury spot, but it wasn't legit. Although we thought it was for a minute. So
And on top of that, Eric Walker's mother's in front of us. Right?
like literally directly
Like
in front of
sitting
where
right
we're
in
sitting.
front of us. So
And I
of
think
course,
his brother. I think that was his
yeah,
brother.
like he had family right in front of us. So Troy Markham's like trash talking him a little bit during the match, and then look, we all know wrestling. It walks that line of what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
We got worked. We got worked good.
We did.
Because
I can't even be mad at it.
Eric Walker was like on the ground holding his neck. Troy Markham like totally stopped. Didn't try to stay in character. He kind of turned toward Eric Walker's mom and like whispered like he's hurt. And we were like, oh shit. And then he does that thing where they kind of get him up. He tries to like shake his hand and goes, let's hear it for Eric Walker.
Yeah.
And then he attacks him and hits him with his finisher again. And we were like, oh man.
Yeah.
Because like they played it perfectly. Yeah, it was a good work, Jason. It was 100% because we were like, they played it well. So, you got us. Kudos. It was a great story. Then Eric pulled off the win, which made it better.
Oh, yeah,
so, but yeah, that was a good spot. We met a new tag team out of Vegas called the Exiled.
Yeah.
They're called the Exiled. Very similar. I think you said it at the show, Tommy. Very similar to like a Jason Silver, Sky De La Cremosa vibe.
Yeah, very
that kind of
boys.
Yeah, very goth boys, but really good.
And
good.
I was gonna say, and after the show, super personable guys, really cool to talk to. It was like we were because we were as just talking to them, and they came out pleasant as can be, really humble guys, really nice. Here's our sticker. I was like, I know I have it. And
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. It was for a match that I was like, oh, this is the main event. That's kind of shocking. Them against a team I've never seen before, but to go up against the hybrid favorites of H2EZ.
Yeah, the multiverse face version.
That'll say I have to point out specifically it's hybrid, the hybrid version that gets cheered. It was a really good match, man.
It really was.
They really, I really make a case for them. I would love to see them back again in Texas anywhere at this point because they just really proved themselves. They're really good.
Yeah. And cool. So it was a good overall night. And they are coming back. They talked about it there. They officially announced it on social media today. August 18th, Rock and Rolling is the next hybrid show.
Okay.
And they're going to have Ricky Morton there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Chase Owen back from the G1, and then their usual hybrid group. So, should be a good show coming up again soon. I know with a lot of older wrestling fans, having Ricky Morton there should be a pretty big deal. So,
that dude's awesome. I remember when he this was years ago. I think this was pre-pandemic when the Rock Roll Express came down to BLW and like just had a blast with the fans, man. They were taking pictures, they were high-fiving everybody, man. It was really cool. And so that's why I'm like, Ricky Morton's here, dude. I'm in because he's just a ton of fun to be around. That's all. So even if he wasn't wrestling, I'd be into seeing him doing just hanging out.
Yeah.
And then, Mike, you said it there. I didn't have the graphic up, but upcoming local shows. August 12th is Mission Pro.
Right. So August 12th, Mission Pro is the big one.
Oh yeah.
August 18th, which is
it's the weekend after that, basically.
That's a Friday. You sure it's the 18th, not the 19th? Wow.
Oh, it's the 18th because they're going to be in Austin for Uncanny Attractions the following day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's a Friday night show for hybrid. RCW on September 9th, and then BOW on September 16th.
Yes,
are
sir.
the upcoming local shows as well. So
yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Let's then get into NXT Great American Bash. Oh, someone said Mullet Mania. Mullet's always great, right? So
it is from the 80s, so
yeah, they are. So
now, before we get into this, I just want to go ahead and discuss this just briefly. Can we consider NXT developmental anymore?
With Carmelo Hayes as champion, I don't.
Well, supposedly they have been moving to make it more of a third brand.
Yeah.
Which is why they're integrating so many main roster people. The Judgment Day have been there the last couple weeks. Apparently, Dana Brooke, Baron Corbin.
I know that was the route when Vince had kind of taken things over from Triple H. He's like, they're going to be strictly developmental. That's how we're doing it. And obviously now that's shifted a bit, but it seemed to still have the developmental feel. But then you had the New Day go back and win tag titles. You have Judgment Day, like you said. Baron Corbin, who is on this pay-per-view, has gone back over there.
Yep.
And, you know, Carmelo Hayes is champion. Braun Breaker was champion for a long time. Mandy Rose for a while was like arguably a top heel in the company, even though it was NXT, right? So it's at a point now where like a lot of people even say, I mean, shit, they're doing a Weapons Wild match with Roxanne Perez. Like, this is something you can see on the main roster, you know, and they're traveling. So I don't know. I just posed that question. Like, is it still a developmental territory, or is it just for the contract's sake?
I think it's just for the contract's sake. I really do think this is like their third brand, which is why I think Triple H just played it off that time when he said, you know, when AEW beat NXT in the ratings, like, well, they beat our developmental. No, dude, they beat your baby. Just admit that it hurts. It's okay. We all understand. It wasn't your call to put them on Wednesdays anyway. You guys already had Tuesdays on lock. Then all of a sudden, magically, they switched back to Tuesdays. Yeah. Anyway, but
Sean, yeah, you're right. I had it wrong on the graphic, and I apologize. Yeah, BOW's on the 9th, so RCW's on the 16th.
Oh, we had them switched? Okay.
I had them switched,
okay.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Photoshop problem. That's my fault. But yes.
Yeah, well, I'm at BOW. Yeah. But
at least we know time it will be to be a W on time. So
yeah.
Okay, first of all, I'm there on time. I have to be. It's other shows that I can be late for.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, but honestly, no, I think NXT is a third brand. I mean, look at Baron Corbin practically reinventing himself down there, and then you got Mustafa Ali just kind of like saying, "Yeah, I'm not getting over. They're not putting me on TV anywhere else. I'll go down there on the Black Gold Rainbow brand."
Yeah, no, it is, and it's developmental, but even then, like, I think they leave a lot of that part of the developmental for their NXT Level Up, which is kind of like their dark elevation version of things. Pretty much anyone who's on TV right now is, you know, pretty close to. That's not a comment I thought I'd ever see, but have fun there.
Which one? This one? No.
No.
I know which one. I know which one.
But yeah, I just saw the other one.
All right.
I mean,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Listen.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah. And Jason's right. Dirty Dom is the North American champion. Like I said, Judgment Day's been there the last couple weeks. Yeah,
didn't Rhea Ripley wrestle this past?
Yeah, she wrestled.
Valkyrie.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I think it's something to see. You know, as we get into SummerSlam. Obviously, they're doing their own show, but are we going to see this more Royal Rumble, Survivor Series? You know, like, I mean, obviously Survivor Series has War Games now, so it's like, are they going to kind of shift?
Yeah, let's keep War Games and get away. Make sure we don't go back to brand warfare.
Unless you do a 3-way War Games match.
Well, they did that in NXT before. So
yeah,
I mean, that was like possible. The last time it was fun, though. I will admit that was like the last one was actually fun.
For sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into what is on tap for Great American Bash, which is taking place in Austin, by the way, Cedar Park, technically. So, if you're in the area, if it's not that far away here, especially from San Antonio, and you want to take a trip, pre-show match is 8-person mixed tag match. Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, Elisa Leon, and Valentina Fox versus the Metaphor, which is Noam Dar, Oral Mensah, Jakar Jackson, and Lash Legend. So, story of the event ordered in Bleach Report, and I got it in Spanish, so I got to check.
Oh, so you got the Thunder Rosa version.
Nice. Well, just run through Google Translate. Run through Google Translate. But anyway, so pre-show match. I mean, this is kind of a standard. I don't know if there's any like high stakes. I don't know if it's worth picking, but
I doubt it.
Yeah,
but one of them's got a name, so
that's true. Yeah. So, but the other one has Dragon Lee. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
that is literally my dividing factors. I know he hasn't had the greatest like track record.
I was gonna say, but how much have they actually put him over?
I know, but it's still Dragon Lee, bro. And like I look, Mike, I'm not even arguing your logic. You're 100% right. This is purely based on emotion. This whole argument I have is 100% emotion based.
Fair enough.
So
Well, not worth picking, but that one is going to be on the pre-show, so definitely
Okay.
worth a watch too. Now let's get into what we're going to pick. There's 6 matches here remaining on the card. These are the main card ones. Gable Stevenson versus Baron Corbin, the return of the lone wolf, another lone wolf in wrestling, like we said.
yeah.
I'm going to start this off and say, look, if Corbin loses this, then what was the point of the reinvention?
Yeah.
Of this show? So, does everyone else agree with that? Because I just don't see like why, if you're making all this big hoopla about him being back to this old gimmick,
Also,
for him to lose would kind of kill all that.
wasn't Stevenson introduced like before COVID? And then didn't he also say he was going to go back for his last year of eligibility? Like, I'm not to mention, like,
I don't know.
apparently, if you look him up, he's lucky to not be in jail, apparently, for really crappy reasons. I mean, like what he did, but
Allegedly, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I like crapper get off the bed, man. Like they introduced him at a WrestleMania, made a big deal, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
COVID
no, I
hit,
agree with you.
doesn't-
I want Corbin. Like I'd rather see Corbin get back into stuff.
I really feel like it's gonna be Corbin. I feel like if they're gonna start pushing Gable, they're gonna make him kind of earn it first. And honestly, see, here's my thing. I know we crap on Corbin because of his gimmicks and stuff, but every time I see something about him online, it really does seem like he's like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
so that's why
Completely.
that's why I'm always like, man, it sucks that his gimmicks blow so much because he doesn't seem like they're really like the nicest guy. So I'm hoping he wins this. I really am. So
Same.
All right, guys, what is a Weapons Wild match? And why
I
does it
was
sound
hoping they
so
were going to go back
badass?
to that convenience store in Laredo and just settle it there.
Did Tina recognize it? Or
I don't know. I got to show it to her and say, "Hey, do you recognize this place?" Because I mean, honestly, there's places all over Laredo like that too. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind her just taking her there, just dumping a whole bunch of chamoy. That would fucking burn in the eyes, especially.
I saw a crazy thing though, real quick, because obviously with Booker T being her trainer, from ROW, that was like an ode to the Booker T Stone Cold,
Yep.
grocery store brawl, whatever it was. But apparently, I forget which order it is, but Roxanne basically was born within a month, either before or after that happened.
Huh.
Are you? Well,
Like that's yeah.
Well, that tracks because I remember somebody posting that the PlayStation is 28 years old as of this month, and I was like, "Gee, thanks. I needed to know that. That didn't hurt my mental state in any way, shape, or form."
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh, what you're complaining about? My original console's in its 30s, so yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
what did you have? Like, isn't the Atari like 40, 50 years old now?
I'm not NES, bro.
Oh,
wow!
I had an Atari. I just throwing it out there.
Yeah, well, I never had one, but our first console was that. So
We had an Atari somewhere in the house, but my first one was a Nintendo too. So
Okay.
yeah. Well, back to this Weapons Wild. It's
wrestling. That's right.
Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport, and don't be surprised if this one steals the show. This one's gonna look pretty fucking interesting.
I'm flashing to the Trish and Victoria like weapons match from Survivor Series that year.
Yeah, Mike, where are you going with this one?
I gotta go with Roxanne Perez. Actually, been really impressed with kind of the change of her character. I guess she's become a little more ruthless and a little more violent. And I think that'll be good for her. So, and plus, like Blair Davenport's character was apparently the one who was taking everyone out in the parking lot. Like anytime they would do an injury angle in the parking lot, apparently the story is that she was the one doing all that. So, it'll kind of be like revenge for half the roster. So,
all right, Tommy, what about you?
I'm very torn because.
All right, Natalie and Bruglia.
I mean, I didn't sing it, but
Sorry.
I always wish I could though. I never actually knew all the lyrics to that song. Anyway, moving on. I don't know. I kind of feel like Blair Davenport, with all the hype they've been building up with her, that this might be her big win, and like Roxy might get back later. So I'll go Blair Davenport. Plus, former Stardom, so I got to kind of go with Blair on that one. So.
It's Roxanne Perez in her home state. I ain't betting against her. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people from Laredo will be up there making that trip. A lot of people from San Antonio will be cheering for her. So
yeah.
For all we know, we might be handing her the weapons to use in the match. So
it wouldn't be the first time in Texas that's happened. It wouldn't be the first time in Austin that's happened.
Yeah. All right, NXT North American Championship. It's crazy to be saying this. Dominic Mysterio, the champion, defending against Wesley and Mustafa Ali. Triple threat match. Tommy, where are you going with this one?
Can I just pick anyone but Dom? Can I just do that?
Somebody.
Damn it.
Roll the dice or whatever it is that you have there. 3-sided.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. It's an odd number. Wesley.
There's 3 people. That doesn't work.
No, because it's anybody but Dom.
Oh, anybody but Dom. Okay.
I'm dead serious. I don't care. Look. Odd number, it's Wesley. Even, it's Mustafa.
Ali. Okay.
Yeah. Odd number, it's a 5. So Wesley. Because look, legitimately, I don't care as long as it's not Dominic. I do not give a damn which one of them wins this match.
Mike, what about you?
See, I'm a little Natalie Imbruglia here because it doesn't do any good in general for Dom to keep the belt, other than the fact that it draws so much ridiculous heat. And honestly, if you give it some time, the person who does take it off him is going to get a push out of it, because in essence, what they're going to have to do is get one over on the Judgment Day who is red hot right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the place for it to happen. And I think I'm going to actually go with Dom to keep it.
As am I, because I saw a clip where Dom was on a radio show, and a father called in to just say that he enjoyed him, he's a fan, this and that, and then he gave the phone to his 11-year-old son, who asked him point blank on the radio, "Why are you Rhea Ripley's bitch?" And literally asked Dom that on the radio.
He's
and
just
I'm
not
just
old
like,
enough. He doesn't understand.
I'm just saying, you got that kind of heat on you. You just won this title. I'm at a point right now where I think the Judgment Day is going to become the belt collecting stable right now, which kind of is a bit of a foreshadow to what I might be picking next week when we talk about SummerSlam. So I've got Dominic Mysterio retaining here, finding a way, and it might be Ali hitting a finisher and him throwing Ali out and him pinning Wesley, or vice versa. It's going to be one of those type of finishes where he sneaks in and gets the classic heel pin in a triple threat. So,
or Rhea gets in and takes out the other two when the ref's out. Or no, it doesn't matter if the ref's out.
It doesn't matter. It's triple threat, so it's no DQ. So now I do believe the ref can throw Rhea out of the match if she's interfering, but so.
Does NXT make their refs that brave?
We'll find out, I guess, right? So, yeah. All right.
That's what security is for. Hopefully, maybe. I said maybe.
Oh well, it's Austin. Let's see what the security is. Let's see what.
That's a good point. Let's see. Hybrid security force.
I was about to say, how many hybrid students are going to be security, right?
Yeah.
RWA security force.
NXT Tag Team Championship. Gallus defending against the family, which is Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo. I'm at a point right now where you're going to give me pick them till they lose, and that's Gallus. I feel like they've had these for so long. I can't pick against them right now. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree. I'm with Gallus.
I'm actually going to go with the family.
Oh, all right.
Only because they've apparently turned, or the crowd's gotten behind them with Tony D's being in prison and all this stuff.
Yeah, apparently him and Dom are on the same block or something like that.
Oh yeah. There was that little backstage segment where they he mentioned some guy, like Joey the Stool. It wasn't Joey the Stool. But he's like, oh yeah, what a great guy, or something like that.
So stupid.
It is, but they've just kind of gotten over in that the fans kind of enjoy them way. So, and Gallus is so solid. I mean, I don't mean to make this comparison just to be stereotyping, but they're kind of like the Brawling Brutes on NXT, right? Like
Yeah.
they're always going to be there for a good fight, a good match. They don't need the belts necessarily, so I'm going to go with the family.
I feel like honestly, European wrestling, British style specifically, has two. I know not everyone in Brawling which is British, but it has two modes. They're either really technical or really really fighty. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's no in between. I mean, there's an in between because Pete Dunne, Butch does it, but it's really fighty or really technical. So I don't really think it's like a stereotype to say like compare them because I just think that's the style of Europe, which is where I want to go. But so
I think the in between is the other guy who's been there.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He's the other one who's like really technical and also got a little bit of high flyer to him. Not a lot, but he
Just
can
enough.
do some springboards and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Now I feel like the women are getting some of the best potential matches here, and this one is a submission match for the NXT Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton defending against Thea Hall. Oh boy. Not Thea Hale, I should say.
Thea Hale, yeah.
Hale, excuse me.
I think you're
Yeah, is going to have Chase University in her corner, we think. And God knows what they're going to pull off. I mean, this has like Austin Bret Hart vibes all over it. They'll probably be fighting all over the HEB Center there.
Yeah.
Who wants to pick this one first? Because I'm just
Hell.
No, I'll
completely
go.
torn. Yeah, go for it, Mike.
I'm going to go. It's going to stay on Tiffany Stratton. Thea Hale is legitimately also young. Like she's either 19 or just turned 20 or something. So I think it's going to be one of those matches where she puts on an incredible performance, kind of gets the crowd behind her a little bit. There's a few spots where you think she's going to pull it off, and she comes real close. But if you follow NXT at all, Tiffany Stratton, I think, is their new golden child. I mean, she's extremely talented, but she's tall, blonde, athletic. If Vince is even anywhere around that, then he's all in. So I think she's going to keep her for a while and have a good reign. So it's kind of a a giant versus the underdog type match here because Thea Hale is kind of small and like a fire plug, but I think she'll put up a good showing. But I think Tiffany will keep it.
Okay. Tommy.
Yeah, I think Tiffany will keep it for a little while longer. I honestly think more of anything that Blair Davenport or if Roxanne is getting another shot anytime soon, that one of them will take it off of her. So I'm gonna go with Tiffany on this one too.
Yeah, Tiffany probably is a safe bet. Like you said, the tall, blonde Charlotte Flair vibes, right? Like she's going to be the next, big star coming out of NXT.
What they had with Mandy Rose before they decided they didn't like the fact that she made money on the side. Anyway,
yeah, so
money that we didn't get a cut of, we can't have that.
Yeah.
How dare she?
How dare she be more successful than us, right? So,
yeah.
And
which
finally,
is strange because Vince was paying off all kinds of money for.
Yeah,
anyway.
you think Vince would appreciate that? I mean, I mean, Mandy has Simpsons. She knows it, and she, gets money. So, hey, I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
Do your thing, sweetie.
NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes defending against Ilja Dragunov. I'm gonna go with Carmelo Hayes because I swear to God, every time Dragunov is in one of these matches, he's just there to put the champion over. It's sad to say that because he's such a talent, but
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is.
I believe it. Look, here's what I'm gonna say about that.
Legacy, you should have given him a cut.
I don't think he had a problem with it up until you did something in your Countdown City Geek shirt. Then that point is like, no, we can't be associated with that. It's the brand, so
That made my stomach hurt.
But it is what it is, right? So yeah. Anyway, I'm going with Carmelo Hayes on this one. Mike, go ahead. While
I'm going with Carmelo too, but I also know Carmelo Hayes knows he's going to be battered and sore after this match because you're right. Dragunov always seems to be in those matches putting over the champion, but their battles and they beat the ever-loving out of each other. So yeah, like Hayes will pull it off, but he's gonna be sore tomorrow or the next day.
Almost like he's the guy that to prove that you're a champion, you got to beat this guy and take the beating.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yo.
All right, Tommy, you good?
Yeah, I'm going
What's your
Carmelo
pick?
Hayes, man.
Okay.
Damn it. That comment was golden, man. Oh my god, that was amazing. But yeah, no, I gotta go, Kurt, because I feel like he's really. Cause okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but can we aside from Braun Breaker, like in recent memory, can we name a guy who's been working more overtime to like get himself noticed and out there and put not just himself but NXT over? Because like he went to Raw and called out, like Finn, and then like called out all the Judgment Day by himself, and Trick is there too, and like I love their dynamic, but it's like these two really work overtime for NXT, and like and I think part of it is to prove like the whole I am him thing, which nothing wrong with that. Hell, I'm a fan. Do what you got to do, bro. I just like Hayes as champion because he worked so hard to win it, first of all, and then he's just done great things as champion. Just when you thought this might be just like a kind of a placeholder because Braun Breaker was so great, Carmelo's doing a great job too, man. He's really proven himself.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and honestly, like you said, there's really no one that's kind of done that since Braun Breaker. But in a sense, you didn't see Braun Breaker appear a lot on the main roster, like putting himself over out there too.
Yeah.
On Raw and SmackDown.
He did like once or twice, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, the one in recent, I guess the one that stands out to me is Kevin Owens, right? Because I mean, he was still NXT champion when he showed up and challenged Cena, and that whole ordeal too. So in some respects,
the 1 year out, obviously, but Adam Cole. The year that NXT won they basically won the brand.
Thanks to Saudi Arabia hold the entire SmackDown roster there for that one episode. So
but even like
NXT,
Survivor, they came in the Survivor Series and because remember, I think was it Adam Cole came in and beat Bryan, when he was Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah,
Triple H came with the Jeep with the fake gun on it again to reenact. Okay, good.
Yeah. All right. NXT Great American Bash, Sunday, July 30th, 7 p.m. Central Time, pre-show at 6. Going to be at the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas, close enough to Austin, Texas, home of the Austin Spurs, the G League team for the San Antonio Spurs, by the way. And it's going to be broadcast only on Peacock, or go see it live. If you're in the Austin area, San Antonio area is not that far of a drive. Nope. I believe tickets are still available, so go check it out. So it's been a while since he's been on the road, especially in Texas. Mm-hmm. So if you got the time, go do it. So, all right. With that, we'll get into our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
I do.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, set and go.
All right. Rhea Ripley, on top of the world right now. Everyone's in love with her. She's too powerful for her own good. And I don't know if we can continue to exist as a side. I don't know if the aliens arriving is her fault. I don't know if finally admitting that. But it's just like a superhero movie where like the villain just has too much power and can't be allowed to continue. I don't know if we can continue in this world where she kind of dominates everything. Like it's crazy. Like if you follow her on social media, she will retweet the heck out of anything like that you like anybody that posts about her. Mm-hmm. She's got the world by the cojones, and she's got her AEW man in real life. Everybody's in love with her relationship with Dom and in Judgment Day in this. I don't want her to fall, but like, can you stay on top and rule that long? I don't know if it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Every dynasty must come to an end eventually, but for now, this is the Rhea Ripley world, and we're just enjoying it while we can.
Yes, we are.
And I am thoroughly enjoying it. Yes, I am.
All right, Tommy, you got something this week?
Yep.
All right, are you ready, set, and go.
It's time for the G1 Climax standings. You guys know what I'm talking about.
G1 Climax standing.
Hey, dude, let's just make a jingle at this point. So at the head of each block is Sonata, Okada, David Finlay, and Mike Jeff Cobb. He is undefeated. He is undefeated so far in his block.
You need someone for the winner to defeat in the finals.
Yeah, that's pretty true at this point. You're not wrong. But sorry, JC Toriano still sitting at 0.
Again, it's golf. He's in first place. Lower scores the better. We've been over this. That's what he's going for. I guarantee it's gonna be an excuse when he gets 0 points when it's all over. So
yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
But in some interesting news, apparently I haven't seen it yet, but Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii apparently had a barn burner of a match, from what I've been told. Like they just absolutely shut it down. So it's cool. Cobb's last victory was against Zack Sabre Jr. Actually beat him, so that'll probably set up another TV title shot somewhere down the line, because that's always happens in New Japan. Oh, you beat the champion or something? You mean you're number one contenders?
And that's kind of what they use the G1 for anyway, right? So
yeah, more or less. I mean, the G1 is to determine like several things. One is whoever's going to main event Wrestle Kingdom, and the other is you beat that guy who's champion. That means you're next in line to get a shot at that title too. It's like, I didn't win the G1, but that TV title though. So, but yeah, that's all.
Have you seen his tweet about his version of the F5?
No, not
so
yet.
Apparently, they call it like the F5000 or something. And he was like F5, F5000, Jeff 5, whatever you want to call it. I was like,
Jeff 5. I think Jeff 5.
Yeah. The Jeff 5, exactly. Mm-hmm. A bunch of people were like, Jeff 5, that's it.
Yeah, I'm calling it the Jeff 5 from now on. I don't care.
I agree.
All right. We had a little bit of talk earlier in this episode about Vince McMahon.
Unfortunately,
I had to talk. But let me just say this. There's actually somebody out there worse than him. And I say that because I actually got to see a documentary, at least part one of a documentary on 30 for 30 ESPN Plus about the American Gladiators. Now, I know there's a part 2 that's already out there, and there's another documentary on Netflix I haven't seen yet. I plan to watch. But let me just say this. One of the co-creators of American Gladiators, John Ferraro, that son of a bitch is worse than Vince McMahon.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Let me just put it this way. One of the revelations is, I said co-creator because the other guy, Dan Carr, a lot of people say he might be the one that came up with the concept, but this Ferraro guy bought his life rights, which means he controls Dan Carr's public appearances and when he can give interviews. And let's just basically say this documentary opened my eyes to a lot of things about one of the all-time greatest shows I thought was great as a kid. But looking back on it now, like, man, he did not take care of his talent at all. Just the schedule they had, the amount of work they had to put in, and the lack of pay that they were given was pretty intense. And I think the most heartbreaking thing about it is seeing Thunder, one of the strongest dudes in the American Gladiators, in the condition that he was before he passed away.
Was it Lex Luger-like?
Let me just say he was basically walking around in a walker in a wheelchair from a bad injury he sustained because they didn't protect him. You look back on it, it's like, man, a lot of those events were not safe. But yeah. And so it's I'm planning to watch part 2 of the 30 for 30 and definitely going to watch the Netflix part of it because it says something about this John Ferraro guy. When the vast majority of the popular American gladiators like Nitro, Ice, Zap refused to appear because he was involved in the documentary. So,
is there a lawyer out there? How do you get someone else's life rights?
I don't know.
Apparently, he purchased it like right before they started filming. That's what they put on there. I don't know. He just controls his appearances. I have no idea. And honestly, this Ferraro guy looks like a fucking Elvis impersonator that just can't let it go. Like, it's
also
bad.
Vince McMahon is not a bar you're supposed to try and be seen or getting over. No. That's supposed to be the like, did you hit this bar? You went too far about 3,000 miles ago.
Yeah.
Back the F up. Like that's
Burnsy agrees with you.
I guess Burns, yeah. Tina and I were watching this in shock, like, what the fuck? Crazy. So No, on a lighter note, I will say this for any Star Trek fans out there. We got what is possibly the greatest Star Trek crossover episode of all time on Strange New Worlds, one of the most recent episodes of Strange New Worlds. They released it early because it crossed over with Star Trek Lower Decks, which for those of you that don't know is the animated show that's out there right now.
Yeah.
And it was so well done. They even got a couple of the actors, the voice actors.
Yeah,
They got to play their characters in real life for this crossover.
that's
nice.
cool.
And
That's
it was
awesome.
really cool because they do look just like their characters on
I
the
was about to
show.
ask, was it like a mix of real life and animated, or just all real life?
No, it was, well, I won't spoil it all, but
Okay.
like for the live action part, it was all live action. For the anime, it was all that. It was
Okay.
so well done. So even if you're not a Star Trek fan, Strange New Worlds is basically the Enterprise before Kirk got it. And so it's
Yeah.
Captain Pike, it's a younger Spock, and number one, all those characters. But just know that Lower Decks is basically an animated, like what goes on in another ship for the crew members no one gives a shit about. Like we always see Star Trek as the captain, the first officer, engineering. Lower Decks, these are like the guys with all the hijinks they get into. So for them to be involved in a more serious show, it was so hilarious, so good. Just go check that episode out. It was so hilarious. So, and yeah, Sean, I said it, he was a poor man's honky tonk man. I'm telling you.
Also,
It was horrible.
another bar we shouldn't be trying to
Yes. So
Yeah.
now Ted, season 2
I
of
forgot about
Heels
that.
begins Friday on Stars. I'm planning to watch the season premiere. I know it's already been put out there. CM Punk will be returning as Ricky Rabies at some point this season. They've already put a clip out there that AJ Mendez is also involved with this as well.
Playing El Dorado, which I am
El
so
Dorado.
mad has never been a name someone's used before. The second I heard that, I was like, damn it, that's a great name.
No, there has to be a luchador El Dorado out there.
I'll have to check, but I didn't.
There's got to be.
And yes, I have stars. I have stars. I'm gonna show you that.
Fair
on my
enough.
post.
I actually don't, but I might try to
Look,
get a subscription.
We didn't say
on
where we were going to be watching it, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got
Fubo
Fubo TV. I've got stars. Part of that is also because my wife loves Outlander, and it's so.
I've heard that's a good show.
Yeah, I heard that too. I want to check it.
So
out.
it's pretty fucked up in parts. I'll say that. So, anyway, yeah, it's I got stars. Yeah, there you go. So we'll talk a little bit about Heels next week, and on top of all that, we'll also recap Great American Bash once again. Let me just put the graphic up there. Pop up there this Sunday in Austin at the HEB Center, 7 p.m. Central Time on Peacock. Pre-show starts at 6. So go check it out or watch it on Peacock as well. We'll recap that next week, and in addition to that, preview WWE SummerSlam. For
I think
once,
it's like 2 years in a row that I'm excited about this show.
yeah, and for once, it's actually the first event in the continental United States since WrestleMania. When you think about it for WWE. So now, Mike, I know you're going to be
Right, I'm going to be out of town next week, so I will not be on the show. I might jump into the chat if we're not doing stuff that evening, but yeah, I'll be out of town.
For sure. Try and jump in with your picks and stuff like that, or send them to me ahead of time, and we'll kind of go from there too as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. I know it's a short show, but enjoy Great American Bash. We'll talk about it next week. Talk a bit about the season premiere of Heels, which fantastic show. Stephen Amell has said he wants to get into the wrestling ring again, so who knows? Future AEW, maybe Stephen Amell as his Heels character versus CM Punk as Ricky Rabies. Wouldn't mind seeing that in an AEW ring.
That
out there.
would be so good. I'm not even joking anymore. Just let's have that.
As
God,
Legacy. This is why we need a separate YouTube channel. So,
my Jesus Christ, yeah. So, yeah.
Hashtag free legacy of nerds OnlyFans.
I'll say this: if they bust out Ricky Rabies at AEW, they better bring the goddamn drone that he had of the freaking weasel and shit like that. It was so hilarious. So,
dude,
yeah. Go if you haven't already. Go check out Heel Season 1. Pretty entertaining, pretty well done, and it's just So.
Can the Bucks be in the same backstage area as Ricky Rabies? Are they cool with him?
I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, he's
a
nice guy backstage on the show. So So, All right. Thank you again, everyone. Get the music queued up here. Excuse me. Over here, we got.
Wow. Did you see
Hold
that?
on. Whoa. Okay, hold on there, Ted. I
Wow.
distinctly did not remember signing anything like that. Let's just.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. You don't control my appearances.
Yeah. If anyone's gonna screw my life up, it's gonna be my other jobs. Thank you very much. I forgot what point I was trying to make there.
Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Enjoy
Boom.
Great American
Ah,
Bash.
boy.
We'll see you next week.
Adios, Gunther.